What is the relationship between adjacent places in the base 10 system? This video is presented in two parts. In part 1, you will learn to recognize the relationship between adjacent places or places next to each other in the base 10 system. In part 2 of this video, you will learn decimal places through hundredths. Part 1. Understand the relationships between 1, 1/10, and 1/100th. The model for 1 shows 1 whole shaded. The model 1/10 uses the same size square as the model for 1. Partition the square into 10 equal parts, then shade one part. The equation 1 divided by 10 is equal to 1/10. Represents the work we did to model 1/10. Notice that the 1/10 model has 1/10 as much area shaded as the 1 model has shaded. Recall that multiplication and division are related. The multiplication equation 10 times 1/10 is equal to 1 is related to the division equation 1 divided by 10 is equal to 1/10. Observe that the 1 model has 10 times as much area shaded as the 1/10 model has shaded. Use the multiplication equation to show how 1 and 1/10 are related. 1/10 multiplied by 10 is equal to 1. Now let's compare the models for 1/10 and 1/100th. To model 1/100th, start with the same size tenths model as we used earlier. Partition each tenth into 10 equal parts to get 100 equal parts. Then shade one part. The equation 1/10 divided by 10 is equal to 1/100th represents the work we did to model 1/100th. Notice that the 1/100th model has 1/10 as much area shaded as the 1/10 model has shaded. Use the division equation to show how 1/10 and 1/100th are related. 1/10 divided by 10 is equal to 1/100th. Recall that the fraction 1/10 can be written as a decimal, with a 0 for the whole number part, a decimal point, and the digit 1 to represent the part less than 1. The decimal point separates the whole number part and the part less than 1. Read both the fraction and the decimal as 1/10. The fraction 1/100th can be written as a decimal with a 0 for the whole number part, a decimal point, and the digits 0 and 1 to represent the part less than 1. Read both the fraction and the decimal as 1/100th. So, the diagram that we completed to show how 1 and the fractions 1/10 and 1/100th are related can also be made to show how 1 and the decimals 1/10 and 1/100th are related. Now you know the relationships between 1, 1/10, and 1/100th. This is the end of part 1 of the video. You may choose to pause the video and review part 1 before moving on to part 2. Part 2. Understand decimal place values. How are adjacent places in a decimal number related? Now let's look at the value of each digit in a multi-digit decimal number. Give the value of each digit in the number 76 and 54 hundredths. A place value chart can help to identify values. This chart shows place values from the tens place through the hundredths place. Let's show the number 76 and 54 hundredths in the place value chart. First, write each digit in the whole number part, starting with the digit in the greatest place and moving right. The digit 7 in the tens place and the digit 6 in the ones place. Then, write each digit in the decimal part of the number, starting at the decimal point and moving right. The digit 5 in the tenths place and the digit 4 in the hundredths place. The digit 7 is in the tens place. The 7 represents 7 tens. Its value is 7 times 10 or 70. The digit 6 is in the ones place. The 6 represents 6 ones. Its value is 6 times 1 or 6. The digit 5 is in the tenths place. The 5 represents 5 tenths. Its value is 5 times 1/10 or 5 tenths. The digit 4 is in the hundredths place. The 4 represents 4 hundredths. Its value is 4 times 1/100th or 4 hundredths. Now you know how adjacent places are related in decimal numbers.